Hey guys, been on a bit of hiatus. Drag racing season started, so had some big changes this year. I think you guys remember 12.2 at 110 miles an hour, something like that. Was the best I got last year. Now keep in mind that's with a stock converter and tall gears and tall tire. So it's not ideal for drag racing, but awesome for on the road. A converter is next, and I'll get to that later. My last test and tune, we ended up going, I don't know if you saw the short, but I think we ended up going 11.7 at 118 miles an hour. And the way we did that was nitrous. So I've never used nitrous before. This was my first time, and yeah, it works. I'll tell you that. There's my bottle. So I ran a 75 shot. I've got two separate plates. And yeah, that picked me up, well, whatever that is. Not quite a full second, but it could have been, because I was only holding it for halfway through second through third gear, so half track basically. I didn't hold it through the first gear because first gear is so short, and my converters locks up at 1200 RPM. So everybody knows nitrous. You do not want to hit the button under 3 grand basically. And yeah, but next step for sure, because it's trying to push through the converter. If you watch the videos of this thing leaving, it's pretty soft. It's pretty, yeah, nothing crazy happens. The big block with the tunnel ram, it has enough torque, it pulls it through. But the cam in this car is not meant to run with a converter less than 2500 stall on the specs. So that's going to be the next thing probably this winter. Tranny's got to come out. I got a bit of a leak that I got to find out where that's coming from. And yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Is it good for a light car like this? The car weighs about 2,700 pounds. I don't plan on changing the gear ratio. I think it's like 373s in there. I'd have to double check, with a 32-inch tall tire. But I still want it. It's a street rod. This isn't a drag car. It drives on the road all the time. Drive it to work, and so I want something. I'm thinking 3,000 stall, but let me know what you guys think. If that wouldn't be quite enough, or if that's very doable on the street. I hope it would be, and maybe a lockable converter. It's a TCI 704 transmission in there. But yeah, that's it's funny how if you guys probably all know this too, or feel this, when you're on the street testing tuning, everything feels way faster, or highway, close course. First time I hit the button with the 75 shot, actually the first time I hit the button was the first test and tune. We were pulling timing. They say to pull about 2 degrees for every 50 horsepower, I think is what it was. And so I probably was way too conservative. What did I do? I pulled just for a starting point. I didn't even have my time light on, and I ballparked it, and I probably pulled 4 or 5 degrees, way too much. and with just the 50 shot, and it actually went slower because I only pushed the button for the last third of the track, third gear, and all that time up to there you're down on power because you pulled timing. So I'm doing old school way, I'm just pulling the distributor back, and so yeah, it actually went slower. So came home, I just checked my time with my time light, verified this car likes 38 degrees, so pulled 2 degrees, 36. Reading the forums, a lot of guys are like, oh, if you're doing less than 100 shot, don't even bother pulling timing, but I'm trying to save this motor. So my goal was to get into the 11's, put it that way, from a 12.2, so I didn't think I needed much. But anyways, and the jetting on these, everybody knows they come, you know, if you follow their specs, they're very rich. So I upped the jet side, just the nitrous up one size from the kit that I could do, and put it so it was 36 degrees of timing. Went did a pull on the street, and it was like giving a good shove in the you know, in seat of your pants kind of feel. It must be that you get used to it, because once you're at the track and you're on it, it didn't feel nearly as crazy as it did on the street. But it definitely made, I see why a lot of guys want to call it cheating, because it definitely is easy. But you also got to have the balls to, you know, risk your motor. And, you know, that was also through these headers. They were blocked off, and the reason I blocked them off is I have an O2 sensor in this pipe. So I was trying to be really careful, watch my air-fuel ratio, and if I open these up, I don't have any, I'm just going by my plug reading. So that was a 11.7 through a through an exhaust that has got zero flow. Big things coming with for the headers. So I have run an O2 sensor is a good idea. I also have a fuel pressure gauge down here. My tach's up there. My air fuel ratio's down there. So there's a lot going on. A lot to watch. You're doing this, trying to watch everything. I did pull my rev limiter. I disconnected it because I didn't want to hit rev limiter accidentally. That can happen, especially when you're not used to the car accelerating as fast. So I just pulled that from the MSD, so I had no rev limiter. So you gotta be a little bit careful with your burnouts, because you're used to, you know, relying on that. But yeah, it was cool. I had all the buddies from work, a bunch of them showed up. Wife and the kid were there, and yeah, it was a good time. So I may get one of those MSD retard modules, since I'm not running. I got the old MSD box, it only has one auxiliary port, but if I'm going to be pulling my rev limiter, I might want one of those, just ones on the dial, so I can leave my ignition where it's at. And then, because it's a pain in the butt at the track if you want to do naturally aspirated runs and then go, so you're just running slower the whole night usually, because you generally just leave it. So, but yeah, basically with this, I'll spin this camera. I bent all these lines up. This is your fuel. It just tees in. I've got a fuel pressure regulator there. It tees in. It goes into here. And then that splits into your fuel there. And your nitrous comes in here, splits, goes back there, and yeah, it worked good. I'm happy. Of course, now it's addicting. Now I want to put 100 shot in there. Or the other thing is hold button longer. Hold it through first, second, third, instead of just half track forward. I feel like if you have a 75 shot, you're safer to hold it longer than probably jumping up to a 100 shot. That's my guess. I pull all the plugs. Plugs all looked, what am I running for plugs? Everybody says run Kohler plugs. I've been having troubles. These are oval port heads. I've been having troubles. I'm running wire 5 V-powers. You can tell they're a fairly cold plug because the porcelain's way down in here. This orange, there you can see my timing mark. Right there. So pretty, timing's on the conservative side, but it's good. But the orange, that is that VP Racing Mataddiv. Sorry, I got a cold. It turns your plugs orange. It makes it really hard to read mixture and everything like that. Again, probably don't need it with what I'm running for. I just was being really safe. Put Chevron 94 in there with that. Yeah, I don't want to blow this motor up. So my goal was to get into the 11s, and we blew past that easily. 11.7. Now, go with 11.5, obviously. I bet you if I hold the button longer, it'll do the whole track. It'll be there. Yeah, it was. And then it was also my best 60-foot time. 60 foots in this car are I think that was a 1.83. That was the best that this car's ever done. Happened to be on that run. Shifted second. It likes to break the tires loose second. It hooked. Went to the left lane. Left lane was way better. And I was like, it's good. Hit the button and just held it all the way through third, click third, all the way through the traps. So yeah, all those. Everybody knows 1.8, 60 foots, that's not good. And that's the stock converter, and that's what's really holding this car back. So, the Pontiac, this thing, we got a Father's Day show and shine coming up this weekend. So, it's ready to go. I got a fuel pump that's dying on me, so I'm not driving it too much. I drove it just on Monday here, and it started coughing up the hills again, so the fuel pump's quitting on me. It was a loaner someone gave me that was iffy if it worked or not. It got me by for a month or two, but I gotta get her fixed up. But anyways, she's good to go for the show, at least. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't rain. Got rained out last year. CKP, our local TV station, did a bit of a segment on it just to kind of promote mine and a few other guys' cars to promote the show this weekend. And once they saw it, and they keep calling me the young gun, so they want to possibly come out and do a segment on I guess me in the shop and everything I'm doing. Look at the profile of that car. That thing just came out like, damn. It's not even done yet and it's sexy. So I've just been rocking. I've actually been cruising this thing quite a bit. I put the bench seat back in. It's got no door panels, no windows. The back's just gutted. Yeah, but it's getting tons of attention. There's the new wheel and tire setup. Those are just flapper hub white walls. And the hubcaps, those are from my buddy Cam. He got them at a swap meet. I think they're a Nash hubcap or Norton. It had an N on there, so Norton or Nash or. Anyways, I found a guy on Etsy who makes center caps. That's basically a domed metal cap,
You can make anything you wanted, and they double-sided tape on, and I think that just looks killer on that thing. So yeah, so this is, I got to detail the engine bay. The engine bay's not much to look at on this car. It is turboed. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it's been kind of neglected underneath because I've been working, sanding the outside, so it's been getting dusty under there and not really focusing on it. But yeah, so stay tuned. I got some big news for exhaust for this car, and I was hoping it would be here for the Father's Day Show and Shine. I don't know if it's going to make it. It's a little bit... I had the option of using UPS, and I thought UPS might be faster, but they always ding you hard when they get here, and all their fees and everything. I'm in Canada, so I ended up going with US postage, or postal or whatever, and it's always cheaper, but who knows. It's kind of a gamble I was willing to take. It seems like it's been hanging out in California for the last week, so yeah, so that's the update. Thanks for watching.